like I've
explore
been
the rest of the Stronghold. This one's just a personal favorite, but if you know how to drag click, you can drag click your Eyes of Ender. The point is, if a frame already has an eye in it, you can right click on it and you're not gonna like accidentally throw an eye. So you can just spam clicking as fast as you want.
That is.
If you get ocean exposed strongholds, you can tell.
Welcome back to the channel. Or if you're new here, welcome. Today we're gonna be watching some more Minecraft videos. I'm very addicted to Minecraft recently, and this, but we got a lot of stuff to learn, okay? So I hope this video cheers you up just a little bit today. And if you're questioning why I'm using so many different models, I'll use whatever I want, okay? Okay, glad we're over that. Let's get into today's video.
I want you to stay. I want you to stay.
Alright, I'm ready. Oh, never mind Roblox. Alright.
Have you ever wondered why speedrunners alternate gravel and soul sand when building up? Well, the short answer is it's faster. But the long answer is that's not really true. The main difference you're seeing on screen right now is on the right side. I am switching blocks, yes, but I'm tapping spacebar every time I place a block instead of holding spacebar. We can see it in this gravel demonstration really well. You go so much faster simply timing your spacebar jumps. I was actually really confused when I started making this video because I knew that alternating blocks made it faster, but I tested it and they were the exact same. Sorry, they looked the exact same. You actually do save time, but it is way smaller than I thought. Over the course of 30 or so blocks, I literally saved half a second.
Half a second.
The reason this happens is because soul sand is a slightly shorter block, so jumping from soul sand to a normal block takes slightly less time than from normal block to a normal block. You save time going from the shorter block to the taller block, but actually don't lose any time going from the taller block to the shorter block. And I'm not going to get into the whole thing. You can read Feinberg's message if you want, but the way Minecraft rounds, it's actually faster to alternate soul sand and sand. Wow, that is a way longer explanation than I thought I would need. We're going through a lot of strats today, so buckle in. I think this video is gonna be really cool. You might know that double clicking on an item groups all of that item together, but what you might not know how to do is this. It's called quick looting, and the way to do it is while holding shift, hover over an item, press a hotkey, click the empty spot, hotkey again, and click the same spot. And if you do this fast enough, it'll collect all of your items in your inventory. You can do this with any of your hotkeys, but I like using my offhand because it's more convenient. When overlapping a craft, like a crafting table and sticks, you can actually right and left click at the same time to instantly craft both. This does work for things like shovels and axes, but sometimes it glitches out. And so even though it doesn't look like you crafted it, if I escape inventory, it did actually craft it. It's just like a ghost item. Turning on hitboxes is an easy way to see kelp floating on the surface. This usually means there's a magma ravine at the bottom, but like lots of things in this video, magma ravines don't exist in the later versions of Minecraft. So lots of the strats talked about here are mainly used in version 1.16.1. This is the fastest version of speedrun Minecraft and what the world record is on. You can actually build a nether portal without a bucket. I'm not going to explain how to do it here, but one thing I do think is interesting is to do it, you need to know how deep the lava is. And so when I mine this magma, I'm looking at this block right here to see the Y value. There, I saw that it was 4 for a second before the obsidian covered it, and so I know I have to drop 2 pieces of sand here to get to a Y value of 6. I need a Y value of 6 to do the rest of the shenanigans that I'm not going to go into this video, but I think are really cool.
What? What did he just do? What? What am I?
And at least worth mentioning. When making lava portals, you might not always have flint and steel to light your portal. And so you might see speedrunners put leaves or wood next to their portal to try and light it. Leaves are actually slightly better because they burn a little bit faster than wood. And you might see them turn their difficulty to hard mode because fire spreads more on hard mode. When looting desert temples, you can place sand below you to take less fall damage. And if you time it perfectly, you'll only take half a heart of fall damage. It's like weird. You take a damage tick and hit the sand, but don't lose any momentum when you do so. You can blow up TNT underwater if you place it on a pressure plate. This is especially useful for getting flint quickly. And if you place a door on a trap door of a shipwreck while mining extra wood, you can simply flip the trap door to get your door back. You can see further in the Nether by going to Quake Pro because Nether fog...
My brain needs to process. This is so many tricks and tips, and like I'm never gonna use these because I've never even beaten Minecraft, but cool.
Is loaded in a plane from the player, and sadly this doesn't work in newer versions.
Hi.
After opening your inventory, if you press tab, the book will be highlighted, and then from there you can press space to open and close it. But you can actually use this to craft slightly faster, because instead of going all the way over to grab your item, you can just
grab
press
it out of
space
it. Yeah.
and you're instantly over the item. And so you'll see a lot of runners do this to craft everything they want. When using TNT to collect gold from a bastion, you can actually briefly light yourself on fire to reduce the knockback from TNT. This also works with hogmoons. Most speedrunners drop a piece of gravel on their trading pit, not only to elevate the items so they can collect them easier, but this will also actually kill any baby piglins at the bottom. This is important because those baby piglins can actually hold on to a lot of gold. If you're in an area with crimson or warpnilium and there's nothing growing on the bottom, you are guaranteed another layer above with grass and mushrooms and whatnot. Ideally, you should eat food when identically matches how much hunger you're missing. Salmon heals 3, I'm 3 down, so now would be the perfect time to eat. This maximizes the distance you can run while also healing you optimally. Although in cases when you're extremely low, you should just eat as soon as possible. When getting to a blaze spawner, you're...
How do you know? I guess it'd just be a strat they know from trying to keep an eye on like what food gives what, how many health. I know, like, if you keep your health bar for, like, it doesn't go down as much.
Priority should be clearing out as many blocks as you can. A common way to do this is with a blaze bed, but the important thing is you want to get rid of all of the fire. Blazes need a light level of 11 or less. Fire gives off a light level of 15. I say this because on exposed spawners like this, you want to use soul sand to expand your platform. You not only want to do this because entities take less knockback while on soul sand, but if blazes create fire, soul fire actually isn't bright enough to stop blazes from spawning. And you get soul sand from bastions. It helps you stack faster. It's like a win-win all around. Soul sand is just great. In certain bastion routes,
like
you can
soul
actually
sand. It makes me go
over
slow.
a block. The piglins will think you're standing here and pathfind into your hole better. In certain bastion routes, you might see people toggle hard mode. This just makes it so piglins can fall from a further height. Also, it's a good idea to throw out your flint and steel and exchange it for fire charges. This just makes it easier for inventory management because you don't have to continuously throw out fire charges. You can just throw out the flint and steel ones. Which brings me on to another point. You normally want to have this in your top left slot of your inventory because when you have your book open, as soon as you open your inventory, your mouse is already over this. So it makes it really easy to swap this in like another hotkey. The same technique used to find silverfish spawners in strongholds can be used to find blaze spawners in the Nether. So I see this orange slice get bigger. I know that there's going to be a blaze spawner in this direction. If you have soul speed and are running on the edge of a block, you can do something called soul speed skating. This is because in 1.16, if you're on the edge of a block, Minecraft doesn't actually count you as touching that block. So you can basically get the soul speed effect forever. When crafting wool, you'll see a lot of speedrunners throw out one of their string. This means you're guaranteed to have 3 left over so that you can craft a bed. A bow, sorry, so you can craft a bow.
A bow,
really
a bed?
You can bait wither skeletons off the side of a cliff by putting a lava bucket. They think it's a block and will just walk straight off. When running down hallways, you might see speedrunners place a block occasionally. This makes it so you can run faster, but you might say, why don't you spam place gravel block like this? And the main argument for this one is it uses less blocks, but also you're looking more straight, so it's easier to check both directions as opposed to looking straight down. I mean, I guess it's a minor thing, but I think that's why most people do this. When measuring eyes, it's useful to turn down your sensitivity. You might see players go to control and tab space into mouse settings. So instead of clicking up here, I just click controls, tab, space, and then I can click this raw input, which slows my mouse sensitivity down. So I can do that a lot faster. Also, you'll see people get in and out of boats before they throw their Eye of Ender. This is for a really advanced strategy. It basically allows you to be more accurate with your measurements. You can see the angle you're
to find the end. Why do we need to be so accurate that the little thingies are going and
looking at on the F3 menu right here, but if you press F3 and C, you'll copy text to your clipboard that gives you 2 decimal places instead of 1 here. And the reason we use a boat is because it allows us to get 3 decimal places of precision.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Boats,
What is
when
this,
placed
physics?
down, don't exactly
What
line
is this,
up with
physics?
your player's
Do your
angle.
sig
They'll
figs
actually
matter?
lock onto like one of 300
No.
or
No, they
however
don't.
many angles. But we can predict what these angles will be, and if you get in and out of a boat, it matches you up perfectly to that angle. And those angles can get us more decimal places of precision.
So the
that's
six
why
figs
you
matter.
use a boat,
Got it.
because
Okay, physics.
the angles need to be
Okay.
really precise
Got
to
it.
find a
I'll
stronghold.
go back to
Because
school.
you're basically doing trigonometry
back.
with really big triangles, because they could be 2,000 blocks away. And so if your triangle is 2,000 blocks long this way and only like 5 blocks long this way, you really need precise angles to predict the stronghold with accuracy. That felt like it made sense in my head, but if it didn't, I'm sorry. If the
No, that hurt
stronghold
my
is less
brain, but
than
it's
200
okay.
blocks away, you can actually break your portal while going through it, so that you can build another portal really close and not have it linked to this one. If you start jumping as soon as you light a portal, after the 8th jump, you can switch to your lava bucket and break the portal as you go through. It's just like a really nice setup. Let's see if I can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope, I didn't do it.
Oh, as you go through, so you want to break it when you're in.
There we go. So now the portal was broken, and theoretically, I could build
You should
another
tell-
one like right here, and this one would put me underground because the one at the surface was broken. So that's like a
Broken.
really cool minor
It's
strat.
faster
If you
than
portal
digging-
into an
okay.
ocean and pretend this is an ocean,
You
and you do a
pretend.
hunger reset, you can actually do one underwater. Simply dig like a 2-block hole pit, and then all of your items will go to the bottom. And so this makes it really nice because my inventory
that's
isn't going to change at
actually
all. If your
genius.
blind puts you in an ocean and you go down to pick up some eyes of ender that were on the ground, a really fast way to get up is to use soul sand
Soul
and
sand?
gravel. You can just do this.
What
I think it's really
the-
fun.
how
Or
does
another
that
cool one,
work?
you can do a super
What?
simple hunger reset just by setting up like this. Just another super simple way to refresh your hunger so you can pearl
so you
around a
mean
little
all
faster.
things
The reason you
that
might see
God.
speedrunners stack up 2 blocks and put themselves into a corner before throwing their first Eye of Ender is just to make sure that your player doesn't have any movement. Because even though you might look like you stopped moving, for a quarter second after, you might be moving by like
How do they know all
100th of
this?
a block, and that could really
I'm
matter
gonna have to
if
watch
you're
someone
trying to measure
speed
Eyes of
run
Ender super
Minecraft,
precisely.
like,
so
whoever
building
has
up
the
like this and
fastest
running into a
record
corner just
ever.
guarantees that you won't be moving. If you
I
need
need
to
to
build your
watch it.
portal at the bottom of a lava lake, there's actually a really cool and
Why
clean
are we
way.
in a lava? Like,
And
mean,
then
I
as you break this
guess-
bottom gravel, you can light the portal, and the other 2 gravel will break on the portal block. And so you can just light it while you're completely under lava. I think it's cool. Sprint crawling in 1.16 is a super big thing, so you can throw an ender pearl while sprinting to maintain
Oh,
your
I used to
sprint
do this,
in a
like, with the
1x1.
swim
You
trade,
can also do
with
this in a
the-
boat if
the-
you're sprinting while
Yeah,
you
the
enter it.
boat.
Fun fact, swimming with a dolphin is actually faster than using a boat, so you'll often see
It's always
speedrunners lower
faster.
their render distance down to 2 to try and get dolphins to spawn next to them if they're traveling
This
in an
doesn't-
ocean. Unfortunately, you can't do this in cold oceans and maybe warm oceans, but all the other ones you can get dolphins to spawn, so it's nice. If you need to get food from animals, you can actually place a lava bucket straight through entities.
Oh, and cook 'em alive,
so you don't have
right?
to worry about aiming your lava bucket to anywhere specific. So like this guy, look at this. I can just place the lava bucket on the other side of him. Kind of cool, huh? If you are pillaring up and your biome is a gravelly mountains, it's always good practice to end with a soul sand, so that if you ever run into gravel, all right, let me go up a little bit higher. So if you ever run into gravel, still nothing. So if you
Nothing?
ever run into gravel,
how many times are you gonna ask for gravel?
okay, sure, it'll be soon. So if you ever run into gravel,
Gravel. There you
it'll
go.
just break on you and you won't like suffocate and die. In
Oh,
a
so-
stronghold, the first time you get near a silverfish
so many cool
spawner, it's
tricks.
guaranteed to spawn silverfish. So as long as you haven't created any by punching holes in the wall, if you hear a silverfish on your subtitles, you can guarantee following this to get to the portal room. And this is especially
That's
nice if you're at a weird spot
genius.
like here. Pretend the stronghold was here.
But I
you
break
hear a
into
silverfish,
it, like
you
I
can
mine
dig
into
to
it and
through a
spawn
wall.
it.
Another
Yeah.
super useful thing is in these 5 ways, if you ever have a blank wall of stone like this, there's going to be a hidden room behind it. There's a chance for there not to be if it's facing like south or something, but every other instance,
I
you
feel
see
like I
stone
just
wall,
don't know
there's gonna be a
Minecraft.
hidden room here
I
and you can
feel like I've
explore the
been
rest of the stronghold. This one's
living
just
under
a
bedrock.
personal favorite, but if you know how to drag click, you can drag click your Eyes of Ender. The point is, if a frame already has an eye in it,
That
you can right
was-
click on
that-
it and
that
you're
was
not gonna like
hot. That's
accidentally
hot.
throw an eye. So
That
you can
is-
just
that
spam
is-
clicking as fast as you want.
That is.
If you get ocean exposed
Mhm.
strongholds, you can tell the portal room apart because it has these iron bars. But if you can't see these, you can actually distinguish the portal room, because in every other connection in a stronghold, there's only going to be a 2-block difference in a Y height between every single room except the portal room. So
Oh, it's
since I
gonna be a
see 3
3 block.
blocks difference here, I know that this
That's
and
only if you get it in the
this
ocean, though.
will be the portal room. This is another small one, but you might get caves intersecting with your stronghold at some point, and so it might generate over it, or if you get a mine shaft, stuff can look really funky.
Yeah.
But the portal room will never get corrupted like that, and so if you see
So
straight
it
flat
always
walls,
has. Yeah.
say in a ravine, for example, you know that it's a portal room. You might know that if you're in the right chunk, the stronghold will always start generating at the 4 coordinates of your chunk. But it's a good practice never to dig down here because you can occasionally get lava straight
Yeah,
in the
never-
center of the
isn't that like-
staircase. And
Isn't that like rule number 1 in Minecraft? Never dig straight down, because, like, this is what happens. You fall into lava and die.
so you'll just fall straight into lava.
Right?
So I always like to offset it 1 so that I'm like at 4-3 or 4-5 or something like that. In a stronghold, you'll often see speedrunners throwing pearls to lower their health so that they can hunger reset in the portal room. And it's actually really convenient because even though there's blocks missing at the floor here, all of your items will go into the exact same spot. And because you pick them all up at the same time, you'll have a perfect hotbar. Because when you die, your items originate from your head. So if I was like this, my items would splay out. But since it's just the head, your items will be fine. And then silverfish also can't pathfind up here because there's like lava. So this is like
they think about
such
every
a nice
second,
play
like, I gotta die
to
here,
hunger
like this
reset
or like
before
that.
you go into
How am I
Stronghold,
supposed
or
to?
the end. That was a nice eye fill. Holy, let's freaking go. In a situation like this where you're closed off, I can actually tell how many blocks I need to dig based on my O value, which is this one right here. This
Your O
tells me
value?
that the highest block above my head is Y58. So if I stand here and look at the targeted block, this is Y level 58.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can use that information to pearl clip through here. So I know that for 58, I have to pillar up 1 block. And then if I crouch while purling,
This is all about being
like that.
faster.
So now I'm out.
But you
Sometimes
fell
when
out.
doing a 0 cycle, you might need to place an anchor where you've already exploded one. And if you can drag click, you can actually blow up the anchor and place one in the same tick
That's
if you're drag clicking.
insane.
Like, isn't that
People
so cool?
are
It just like places
insane.
another anchor in the air, so then you
How
can
do
blow it
people-
up again. Oh, also, I'm just like a huge fan of drag clicking. It's just like so much easier to boat clutch there. I feel so confident in boat clutching if I can drag click. If you have endermen that are angry at the dragon, you can actually de-aggro them by looking at their eyes. But let's take this guy, for example. I can de-aggro him, boom, not angry at the dragon anymore. Really cool little kind of pointless feature. Actually, I guess it's kind of nice because if you're going to the center to blow up beds and you have endermen angry at the dragon,
Yeah,
they can
you want them
sometimes like
away.
teleport onto where you're trying to place beds. And so
And they get in the way.
de-aggroing them actually does have use. Oh my gosh, that was a crazy 0. One myth that I see is when people kill the dragon, they'll protect themselves like this from endermen is the idea. But endermen
Yeah.
can still attack you through this corner of a block.
Yeah, can't.
So
yeah,
the better
can't
thing
they?
to do is to just place 2 blocks up like this, and you're guaranteed never getting an angry enderman.
Oh, they
killing you.
can't get
unless
you,
there's like
yeah.
some weird terrain that like allows it to, you know. But like you guys know that.
Jeez, he's so fast. What?
Ooh, almost a telly bridge. So that is pretty much it. Oh, I guess one last thing. So when you're doing a double bed to kill a dragon.
You
Okay,
have
whatever.
to
My
use
Minecraft
beds to kill
actually
the
instance
dragon?
crashed right there. It's all right. There's more stuff out there to learn, you know, like why I have this weird thing on my screen to measure eyes of Ender. But those are a lot of cool strats that I thought would be cool to share in a video. So I hope you enjoyed. Maybe you learned something, and that's
I
pretty much
learned a
it.
lot,
Okay, I will
and
talk
it's
to you
all going
guys
in one
later.
ear and out the other.
Peace.
Like, I don't think I've ever really beaten Minecraft, and like to think people are like doing this competitively, and just constantly thinking about the decimals and how to make things go faster, how to die like, okay, you got it, big brain. I'm gonna go back to my corner and build my cozy house with my flowers and wait till you're done. 'Cause like, I'm an airhead and I can't do that.